What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Highland from 9 playing the shorts for another Highland putter review. This time we have essentially a polecat, but if you took a polecat and gave it a thumb track, but if it wasn't made by Innova, what if it was produced by Infinite? You have the Glyph, and this is in their C line, so essentially champion metal flake plastic. It's a little bit on the gummy side, which is kind of cool. But yeah, very flat on the sides, very flat on top, a little thumb track. Let's see how he play. Hole number 1, 216 feet, right down there at the bottom of the hill. Let's see if we can make it go straight. So the Glyph, I think, is supposed to be slightly more stable than a polecat. I don't know if it's coming from the thumb track or, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more stable than the polecats that I've ever thrown, because I've only ever thrown the DX ones. And this is essentially Metal Flake Champion. It's going to be more stable just because of the plastic itself. So I don't know if the mold itself is more stable or if the plastic's gonna make it more stable, but I saw it fade, so that was pretty cool. We'll get to really test its paces on some of these longer holes. That's one. Hole number 2, 230 feet. Let's see if we can make it go really straight. Really straight, but it is a 1-speed, so I need to throw that much higher. Hole number 3, 227 feet. It seems to hold a line pretty well, but it seems to be a little bit lower glide than the 1-speeds I'm used to throwing, which are the Spore or the Glitch. It does need a little bit more power, a little bit more oomph to get it to go quite as far. I think I'm gonna try to just go straight at it because I don't think I can bend it enough. We'll have chances to bend it on other holes, but I think now I'm just gonna try to pipe this right-hand gap. Yeah, it flips up, like it stayed on the hyzer angle, but kept pushing a little bit to the right. So even though it was on the hyzer, a little bit drifty, I think that's coming from the fact that it's a 1-speed and I threw it really hard. It's all right. 2 pars, 1 birdie. I think as long as I keep it away from bogeys, we should be pretty good. Let's tap this in real quick. Hole number 4, 269 feet. This hole is really going to test the integrity of this disc. Even though it's in metal flake, I'm going to have to throw it basically as hard as I can. And I'm going to have to keep it on hyzer. So if it flips up at all, it could go way too straight. So I need to stay on hyzer, a lot of hyzer, and just punch it as hard as you can. Wow. Okay, so a little more integrity than I thought it had, which is good. It's still getting like slow flip, but it's not flippy. So this is actually, in my opinion, it is a better point and shoot putter than the polecat is, because all it takes is like 2 trees for the polecat to just turn over. Whereas this, I hit a tree pretty firm on the last hole and it still didn't flip. So it's gonna, especially with the Metal Flake Champion, it is going to hold that integrity for a good bit longer. Hole 5, 230 feet, ends around off to the right. This is one where we get to see if it'll hold the turn. So far, it's getting the overpowered torque flip just because of the 1-speed, but it is actually, it kind of It's like a slightly less glidey spore. Like it's actually flying really, really similar to a spore. I'm very pleased with this disc. That should be pretty good. That was unfortunate. We can do better. Need to just putt better with this. Yeah, so it's getting the same flight path of a spore, but if you had the glide of an average putter. So if I threw my P2s on the same line, they're gonna go as far as the spore. Ooh, gonna go as far as the spore just because it's faster. But if I throw them at the same height, the spore is going to hover in the air for longer than the Glyph would. The Glyph, I think it's the thumb track, because the rim doesn't keep coming up and over, kind of drops down a little bit, so it's going to have a little bit less glide because there's not quite as much plastic trying to keep it in the air. Hole 6, 187. It's just right there. Now you got to hit the gap. So that was perfect as I could have done it. Hole number 7, 264 feet. The hyzer from hole 4 would probably be a really good shot here, so we're gonna try to recreate it. Just have to have a little bit more precision to hit the tunnel all the way through. Okay, a little bit less hyzer than hole 4, and even though it stayed on the hyzer, it just pushed straight, so it still has that glitch polecat effect, where even while it is on a hyzer angle, because it never really got to flat, even though it's still on a hyzer angle, it's still kind of pushing straight. So it feels like it's kind of in between a polecat and a spore. But that's why I like the spore, because when it's on a hyzer angle, it goes to the left, versus everything else. It's on a hyzer angle, it just kind of goes straight for a long time. Actually, I had the right height there. Not enough anhyzer. So, what are we right now? 2 down? Yeah, I think we're still just at 2 down. Which is fine. 1-speed putter. Not exactly the best driving putter you might get your hands on. Hole number 8, about 200 feet, right down there at the bottom of the hill. There's an ace run chance, but I think with as much as this glides, I'm gonna have to throw it a little bit more firm than if I was throwing a glitch or a spore, because those I just kind of try to barely throw it, and these I'm gonna have to actually, maybe instead of 10%, maybe add it up to like a 25 or 30%. I think that's about perfect. I am, for the short shots, I'm starting to dial that in. It's never gonna replace my P2s as far as a main go-to driving putter, because it's a 1-speed. And if I'm throwing in any type of wind or any type of, I need it to fade, I can't count on a Glyph to fade if I'm throwing it hard. But if I'm throwing a Sky God 4 really hard, I can count on it to at least flatten out if it gets on an anhyzer angle. All in all, infinite discs, metal flake. Oh, it says metal flake glow sea blend. I don't know if it glows. It might glow. That would be cool. Kind of looks like it could glow. Yeah, the Glyph is if a Berg tried to be a glitch. So it has more glide, not quite as much as the glitch, but not as much just drop out of the sky as the Berg. So it's a really good middle ground in between the two. It gives you a little bit more stability like you might get from a glitch, but it also gives you a little bit more glide like you might get from the Berg. Or no, I have this backwards. The stability, more of the stability similar to a Berg or a spore, more of the glide similar to a glitch or a polecat. So it's a really good middle ground. So if you were throwing polecats and you thought they were a little bit too flippy, this might be a good alternative. If you were throwing glitches and you wish that it kind of dropped out of the sky just a little bit sooner, but you didn't want to go for a bird, a glyph might be a good option for you. For me, it's gonna be fun to throw, but I have my bag already pretty set up, and I am kind of in love with my putter slot right now, so I'm gonna leave it where it's at for now. But the Infinite Glyph, great disc, great putter, great thrower and approach disc. I don't think I could get it more than about 250 on a full rep though. I don't have the power to get it there, and it's not fast enough to get much further than that anyways for me. So it's a great disc, not going to be going into my bag, but maybe one of you guys would love to bag a Glyph. So make sure to go check them out. They're on infinitedisc.com, and they also still have a couple of them at Another Round Asheville if you're wanting to check out something in a slightly different slot. Hole number 9, 203 feet, softly bending off to the right, so we're going to try to throw the same shot from hole number 5. Just throw the backhand anhyzer. 9 more. Yeah, stayed out just a tiny bit too much. Might have had it a little bit nose up because I have been trying to go uphill. So it wasn't the best result, but it looked pretty good while it was in flight. Needed just about 2 degrees more turn for it to make it all the way up to the basket. As it is, I'll probably be walking away with a par. Let's see if we can do something special though. Maybe we have a throw-in. Nope. No throw-in, just a par putt. So if you enjoy content like this, make sure to like the video. If you want to see something else, make sure to comment that down below. And please make sure to subscribe. Helps you out. All these subscriber only giveaways, and it definitely helps me. And until next time, see you out on the course.